On the way in is the chairman of the Republican Party here in Bradley County, Hunter Shamblin. He's running a few minutes late. He'll be here any second.
You ready for me?
Come on in, buddy.
Appreciate you. This one right here, I got you.
My cup.
Oh, thank you for having me today. Getting blown up on there?
Yep, just a little bit. So, I've had some sinus this week. Have you?
Yeah, I sure have. Well, it's actually probably 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I had COVID. But actually, I'd say probably about a month. But it was no fun this time. But I'll tell you, it was one day, and I was sore, fever, and I kept working. I worked from home, and then after that, I was like, I'm gonna get outside and burn it out of the system. So day 2, I was back in action.
Well, that's what I needed to do, burn it out.
Yeah.
But I've been in Knoxville this past week, and I didn't have time to do that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I wanted to.
If you get a workout in, get a little sweat going, you're in
It
business.
helped, man.
Every time.
Every time.
And I don't know if the doctors would tell you to do this, but I hit a little bit of I won't tell you what I hit before I hit the Red Bull, but I got a little Red Bull in the system, and I was back in action after that. So I was rocking.
I spent 5 days in the hospital. I was taking BC powders and energy drinks.
That's right.
Boy, you got to be careful.
You do. When you get that caffeine in the system, though, it'll jolt you back, won't it?
Yeah, and too much coffee will make me sleepy.
Yeah, really.
After a while, it's just too much.
It doesn't do it to me, though, but I'll tell you, it doesn't get me energized anymore. I have to do like a Red Bull or a Celsius or something, and even that, I don't know, I guess it's too much caffeine.
You drink the little Red Bulls?
I don't. I drink the bigger
big one?
can. Yeah, the bigger
Boy,
can.
they'll put weight on you.
Will they really? I do
yeah.
the zero sugar is what I do. But I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe that's what's putting the weight on me, though. So something's doing it. Something's doing it.
Did you go? I didn't see it. Gary Davis's
I
thing
was
last
going,
night.
and I bought a bunch of flooring from some big store in Dalton that had a good sale on it. And so I had my big truck and trailer loaded down with it, and I was late come back, so I was having to go so slow down the back road because I got more than what I was planning to get because it's such a good deal. So slowed me down. Did it turn out good?
Yeah, it's a pretty good crowd.
Whenever you read a story in the newspaper or see something on television about somebody getting arrested, you naturally assume they're guilty. Unless the story's about you or someone you love, then you'll think differently. And you'll want a lawyer who will defend you. My name's Scott Canavis. If you or someone you love has been charged with a crime, call me. I'll return your phone calls, I'll work on your case, and I will defend you.
Boy, those politicians, they are out there, aren't they?
They're out.
They're out there.
Hey, it's that time of the year. Matter of fact, my good friend Mark Hall called me and said he had talked to, he was like, what are you up to today? I said, well, I'm walking into the discussion right now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he said he saw you there. So I said,
saw
well,
him.
He was out politicking, I mean, wasn't he?
They're out there.
Every one of them.
You know, if you got everybody, all the politicians and their wives up there, there wouldn't be nobody else in the crowd.
Was it a pretty big crowd?
Pretty good crowd,
Good.
yeah. Politics is just different. It's different than any other business.
It
it's
is.
different than wholesale, retail.
It is.
It's just different.
It's gotten crazier here within the last few years, too.
I would say if you treated it like a regular business, you couldn't do it.
No.
You got to be.
It's an ongoing thing, too, 24/7. 24. You never know when something's going to go down. Never know.
You know, and a lot of them are more friendly to you then than they are later on.
Yeah.
And people pick up on very small nuances.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that.
I mean, that's
everybody's your friend when they want your vote, right?
Yeah.
So,
they can't really hide the difference.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's just very subtle stuff.
You're right. You're exactly
But
right.
the one I tell you something that, and I never known him that well, was Collins that does the road.
Tom Collins?
Tom Collins.
Yeah.
And I saw him in town here maybe a month ago, and I mentioned something to him about a sign somewhere.
Yeah.
And man, he put one on both sides of the road.
He's a good one.
And I haven't talked to him since. I haven't even had a chance. But he seems to be the same.
He is. He's on top of it. I love Tom Collins.
I mean,
Good
it's
guy.
like he's just the same.
He is. He runs with Howard Thompson. I don't know if you know Big Howard.
I think they were, I guess they were sitting together.
I believe it. I believe. Hey, you want to talk about a fun crew? You get together with Howard and Tom, and you don't know what you're in for. So
Oh, yeah.
those are some good guys right there, though. Good guys. But yeah, Tom's all over it. Heck, he did it. Back 2 terms ago, and then he retired and came out of retirement, and he's done a fantastic job. Fantastic job.
You know what I remember? Years ago, strange combination of people, but me, Doug Elrod, Stanley Thompson, Charlie McKenzie, and Tom Collins went to a political function, and I was probably 24.
Yeah.
And how long ago? He probably don't remember it, or probably.
Sound like a fun crew right there.
Yeah, it was a good. I didn't know him,
Yeah.
but we just all went together. but anyway, yeah, politics is different. What all? I always get this, but the normal person like me, they don't know even when the election is up until about 2 weeks
the
before.
Republican primary will be in May, so it's getting close now. So we're October.
January, February, March, April, May.
Yep, but it gets heated up in the local stuff right after the first of the year. So you'll have right now it's the Christmas, everybody will be doing the Christmas party and the Halloween events, the GOP Christmas party, the
Yeah.
Ladies Republican Party. Then after that slows down a little bit, and then after the first of the year, it's game on though. You get a little break in there and it'll be game on after that.
So why do I hear more about the county races now than I do the city?
I don't know.
Is it a different time frame?
I don't know. No, it'll be the same time. I don't know why that is. It's always been that way. It's like the city races don't get as much publicity. But I will tell you, this will be the general election. But we have the chance, from the party perspective, we have the chance to take back the school board seat that's held by Jody Riggins, who is a Democrat. So this is going to be an exciting time. Matter of fact, that's one of the main reasons I went for chairman, because I wanted to take 2 Democrat-held school board seats. We want to take them back. And so this cycle we'll actually get the chance to go for one. So we've got a fantastic candidate. I hope he doesn't mind me saying it, but I'm going to throw him out there. Mark Gravel, I don't know if you know Mark or not.
Yeah, I've had Mark here, yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, you did have him on the
He
discussion.
had one of the biggest viewers that I've had.
Yeah.
He's probably number 4.
Well, I'll tell you, he's sharp as a tack. We're totally 110% behind him from the party. And I'll tell you, we're not successful unless we blow this race out of the water. So we want to run the score up. It's the only one we have with Democrat opposition, so we're going to win it. And hopefully we run the score up on them is what we're going to do. But Mark's a great guy, fantastic candidate. Got a couple kids in the Cleveland City schools there, so it'd be a perfect fit. And heck, he's been successful in business. He's been a banker for years. And I remember Mark, this has been years ago, and I don't want to age him here, but he came when I was in not junior achievement, I'm sorry, he did that too. It was Scotty Smith. I don't know if you know Coach Smith. He was the defense coordinator at Walker Valley. Dee had him too.
Oh, yeah.
His son Dee
Yeah,
had him.
yeah.
So he came and he would speak at our business class, and he would come in, take his time. He'd take half a day to come in when he could have been, doing loans for people or whatever else. And he'd come in. I never forgot that. So Mark did that several times, and I got connected with him there after I got out of school, obviously going to all the same networking events and stuff like that you'd go to in business. And he's a fantastic guy, but I never will forget that. And when this came open, we wanted to find a good candidate to go for it, and I thought Mark would be fantastic for it. So no doubt in my mind he's going to win, but we got to do everything we can to help him get across the finish line for sure.
Now your role is, what is exactly your role? Chairman of the Republican, of the GOP, I guess
That's
you call
correct.
it. Grand Old Party,
That's
right?
right, from Bradley County,
Yeah.
yes sir, yes sir. So number one, we got to help our Republican candidates out, and usually in Bradley County, the primary is the general race, and so we can't take a stance in the primary, obviously, because when it's all a partisan race there, we have to support our candidates. But it's a lot of fun when you've got Democrat opposition because you get a chance to go out there and really work for your candidate. Not saying we want any Democrat opposition, but if there is, we want to go out there and run the score up if at all possible. So really it's facilitating our candidates, making sure people know about the upcoming elections and hosting several. We've already started hosting town halls for the Register of Deed candidates. So Mark Hall, he's running for Register of Deed's first speaker. And then Missy Matthews spoke last month and Stacey Shahan speaking in October. So then we'll break in November for the holidays. We won't have a meeting November, December, and then we'll start back up in January. So it's getting hot and heavy though, but our main job is to facilitate town halls for all of our candidates, help them out any way we can, help them if they have any questions with filing or, what they can and can't do as far as...
the rules or something.
Correct. And then also,
How would they know otherwise?
They wouldn't. They call state, but we try to help out as much as possible. A lot of people, too, they don't know you have to be a bona fide Republican to run for office, which means you have to have voted 4 out of 5 of the last state primaries in order to be a bona fide Republican. So it's pretty strict rules to be a Republican now and run.
But you could have voted for a Democrat and for one Democrat.
One time. You could have one time. So really what they put that one time in there for is, let's say, you had your grandmother's funeral to attend or something like that.
I see.
Yeah.
What about, you remember J.C. Hahn? Are you
J.C.,
too
I've
young?
heard that name.
I think that was what he did back when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
J.C. Hahn.
Yeah.
I bet not many people remember him.
I've heard that name before, though, so he was chairman back in the day then.
Yeah, he was big into politics. J.C. Hahn.
We've had some great chairs. Emily Beatty was chair last time. Richard Burnett, you know Richard Burnett well, don't you? So I always give him a hard time. I tell him he's the greatest chairman we've ever had, but don't tell him that I said that. I tell people that, but I never tell him that, if that makes sense. So,
well, how do they pick the chairman? How did you get that job?
So we caucus for it. So you've heard of the Iowa caucuses probably. We actually have local caucuses every now and then. We all show up at Oakwood Middle School, and then you've got your precincts divided out, and it's a electoral, really, I guess the best term is a delegated process. And so you have to get nominated and seconded, and then it goes to the delegation to pick the chair, which I ran unopposed, thankfully, this time. So nominated, seconded, and it was over with, and the whole slate did. So it was easy, easy to run through the caucus.
How much time does it take you in a week that you're involved with it?
Oh, gosh. Some days, half of the day, some days not much time at all. It just depends on what's going, but it can get time consuming for sure, especially as we're moving into the election season here. A lot of candidates are asking questions, wanting to know the details of what's going on, when the events are coming up. We've got even like Marsha Blackburn's local people and John Rowe's local people, they want to know what's going on. Even if it's events we're not hosting necessarily, they just want to know what's going on so they can attend. That's going to be a big race coming up between.
Who's John Rowe? I heard that name last week.
He's a congressman. I believe it's Middle Tennessee that he's at. Good guy. Marsha's, obviously, everybody knows Marsha, great senator. So it's going to be a big race, but a lot of people.
So he's running against her?
He is, and it's going to be a lot of money spent in that race, which Marsha, she's been very successful, and she's got a lot of money that, she'll be running behind. But a lot of people don't know this. Rose, he was a big tech guy back in the day, so he's like worth $100 million or something like that. I don't know exactly what he's worth, but, he'll be running on a lot of money too, so it'll be an interesting race to see how it all shakes out.
I had Marsha here.
Did you really?
Yes, she would only come for 20 minutes, I
20
think,
minutes?
or 30 minutes. Yeah, it was hard fitting it in 30 minutes.
Getting all the questions in.
That goes against what I do here.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're
we're just talking.
We call it, I love this phrase. I don't know if you've heard me say the People's Podcast. Yeah. That's what I've got going around on. I love it. And it's, an hour and a half, and you always have good discussions on here.
Sometimes 2. I've had some over 2 hours.
Have you really?
Oh, yeah.
Have you really? That's awesome. Yeah, Marsha, I never will forget this. She did call me after I'd won chairman there, and she left me the nicest voicemail, but I didn't have her number, so I didn't know who it was there. So I called her back later, but I thought, the one time I didn't answer it. The one time I didn't, and it was Senator Blackburn there, but she's a good one, and John Rose is a nice, great guy, too. So we've got 2 good people to choose from, and I think they're both true conservatives, too. And they both stood with President Trump, and that means a lot to me. So I think we've got 2 really good Trump conservatives that we can't go wrong either way, but we'll see how it shakes out.
So he's from Middle Tennessee.
He is.
How many U.S. congressmen do we have?
Golly, I think it's 8 or 9, right? 8 or 9 in the state of Tennessee.
So why is he running against her if she's way up towards Knoxville, isn't she?
Well, he's running for governor, and Marsha's running for governor. So yeah, Marsha is what.
See, that's how out of it I am.
No.
So she's running for governor.
She's running for governor this time, which we all thought that it was going to be Glenn Jacobs running for governor. You know, Kane. I don't know if you've ever watched WWE before, but he was the big red machine.
Yeah.
And the big red machine is what.
Yeah.
So everybody, the word was Kane was going to run for governor, but now the rumor is that Marsh is running, but Glenn Jacobs was in behind Marsh's. So I think what will happen if she wins, he'll go to the Senate. So it's definitely interesting right now. But
How they expect to win unless they come on the discussion?
that's exactly what I'm saying. So I'm going to tell all of our candidates the first thing they got to do, they got to come on
How
the
can you
People's
win?
Podcast, the
Are
discussion.
they scared?
That's exactly.
Right.
I think they'll think that you'll press them too hard. Is what I think it is. You know, you're like a old school Bill O'Reilly on here. You'll press them on the answers.
I don't know. I haven't gotten political with them.
Yeah.
If they get political, it's on their own, not
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in what they eat for dinner.
That's right. That's right.
That's what more people are. The ones that people watch the most are when we just talk.
Just have a good discussion.
And it's not political because
Yeah.
I'm not political, and people won't. I think people will vote for you, not necessarily because of your political stance, but if they like you.
That's
if
exactly
they like
right.
you, they'll rationalize why they voted
That's
for
like
you.
it's Richard Burnett, the banker. I mean, I think everybody in town banks with the guy. Number one, I always tell him like, you should run for this, or that. I've never seen somebody. We can go to Jenkins, and I've been to Jenkins with a lot of people, but I've never seen somebody that when we sit down at that table, it's a constant conga line. 30 people come up. You can't even eat your lunch
Can't
when you're
even
sitting there. I've never seen anything like it before. I mean, everybody wants to shake his hand and come up and talk to him, but I'm like, Richard, when you gonna put your name on the ballot? But chairman is the only thing he's a constable now, but I think he'll go for something bigger one of these days. So I'm trying to talk him into it. We'll see.
That's right. He is a constable. isn't
Yeah.
he? A banker and a constable.
You know what's funny? I give him a hard time because he'll show up to serve papers and he'll leave the bank and he'll have in his lapel or his pocket square, he'll put his badge in there. I'm like, well, nobody's going to show up because they're going to think you're the FBI. I'm like, I don't know another constable that
I'd
shows up
rather
with a
see
suit
the
on.
constable as the banker coming out.
That's very true. That's very true. Very true. Very true. But he's a good one, though. But you're right, though. People, if they like you, they'll vote for you.
If they like you, they'll vote for you.
That's like
And
Gayla Miller. Look
they'll
at all the
come
votes
up
she
with
gets.
a reason.
Yeah, look at
They'll-
all the votes Gayla gets. Everybody loves Gayla.
Everybody loves Gayla.
Which I pulled, probably the best Hail Mary I've ever pulled here was talking Gayla into being my vice chairman on the GOP board. So she's on the
Well, I
board.
bet that was tough, wasn't it?
It wasn't that hard.
Because she's not really political like that,
No,
is she?
it's not, but I wanted Gayla to do it, and you have to have a female to do it because we're governed off the state bylaws and we're governed like committee man and committee woman. So if you're a male chairman, you have to have a female vice chair. If you're a female vice chair, you have to have a male chairman. And so I wanted Gayla. That was my first choice, and she was right there on board from the beginning. I got her talked into it and had a little help there. Had a couple people go to her and ask her on my behalf, and she was in, but she's fantastic.
Do you, what all offices are coming? Well, we don't know, do we? I mean, we don't know which incumbents are running. Let's go over them in there. Well, who would run for Marcia's job?
Okay, so what apparently will happen here? She can retain her Senate seat. So
If she don't win?
if she loses, she goes back to the Senate. But if she wins, then she could actually, if she's governor and she doesn't vacate that seat, I don't know the technicalities here, but if she doesn't vacate that seat, when she takes office as governor, she can then appoint her seat. So instead of having a special election, she'll be the sitting governor and then get to appoint a replacement, which everybody thinks. Personally, I think it's probably Chuck Fleischman or Glenn Jacobs is what I think. And I hear Chuck Fleischman's number one for it and Glenn Jacobs potentially number two. So a lot of speculation going on there, but I'd take
All right,
either one.
so go over that again.
So if she is elected as senator, then she'll be able to appoint her replacement when she's governor. Once she's sworn in as governor, she can then name who fills the Senate seat because the governor has the power to fill the Senate seat if it's an open seat, if that makes sense.
I would pick Flashman.
I would too.
Boy, he's good.
I love Glenn Jacobs, too, but I tell you
I
what.
don't know Glenn Jacobs.
He's a good one. I don't think we could go wrong either way, but Congressman Fleischman is number one. A lot of people don't know this. He's a cardinal in the House right now, so I think he's like, I don't want to get this wrong, but last I heard he was like 8th in power there, so he's big. A lot of people don't realize how big he actually is, and does a fantastic job. He's the chairman of appropriations, so if he's over your district like he is with us, that means you're going to get a lot of federal money coming. So I love that. I'd hate to see him lose that or leave that, but I'd take him as a senator in a heartbeat too.
How do these people? When you get into that level, those races are what, 100 million or something?
Chuck Fleischman's race I'd say probably 10 million or so now to do it. I don't think it'd be 100 million.
So you'd have
Isn't
to
that crazy?
What's it for? Billboards and radio ads?
A lot of targeted mail is a lot of what they'll do. They'll hit your mailbox a lot. That's one of the most popular things.
So
And also,
postage and flyers.
Yep, that's right. Which there's Guru. I need to get you to get Alan Beauchamp on here. He's one of Chuck Fleischman's big consultants. He's actually running a couple local races too.
Oh, is he from Dayton?
No, he is from Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge. Yeah, I knew it was that way.
Oh gosh, he's got a big footprint here. He's done Sandra Donaghy. He did Stephen Hatchett's race. He's doing Mark Hall and Tim Akins. So he's got a big footprint.
Oh.
Yeah, big footprint. But I guess he's Chuck Fleischman's main consultant there, and he's his big pollster, and he does a lot of mail and stuff for him. So he knows a lot about it. But I'll tell you, Alan, he's like a scientist with it. You know, he gets way above my head when it comes down to strategy on that. But he can tell you to the T. But a lot of it is postage, and then also the media ads too. So they'll do a lot of TV ads, and they'll do a lot of social media ads too.
Did you say Beauchamp?
Beauchamp, yes sir. You'd love him. You'd love him.
You know, that was the name of that character on The Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood. The blonde-headed guy came to town, and he was Mr. Beauchamp.
Mr. Beauchamp. Well, Alan's gray-headed, so I don't guess it was him.
$100 million. Boy, that's a lot.
Well, I think $100 million is probably way above.
Or even 10 million. I would have thought.
I don't know what it is now.
I would have thought 400,000 would be a lot. You know.
But you take the governor's race. I could see it going that high, 100 million, but you just never know what's going to get spent on it.
There's really not a chance there'll be somebody come out of left field and
I don't
win.
think so.
They wouldn't have the funding, right?
I don't think so. Well, you look and see, a lot of times you can look and see who's getting the big consultants in Tennessee. And so Marcia's got Ward Baker, and I think John Rose hired a group out of Pennsylvania that's a big group. So they're coming with some mega starters here, if that makes sense. And
what would you call them? Promoters?
That, and also really just political strategists too. But
strategists, yeah.
I'll tell you, I went to a Ward Baker seminar probably 10 years ago now, and that guy's sharp as a tack, and he goes nonstop. He has probably...
I've met him.
Have you? I think he's got...
I met him at Fleischman's thing
He's
in
got
Chattanooga.
several employees that are, that's all they do.
So he's a strategist?
He's a strategist.
And Beauchamp's a strategist?
Beauchamp is too.
So they're two different... Which one do you want to hire, sort of thing?
That's exactly right. Which I think I think they have a really good relationship because Senator Haggerty employed Ward Baker, Marcia's employed Ward Baker.
What if you employed both of them?
I think a lot of them do. Because I know Ward Baker does work for Chuck, Beauchamp does work for Chuck, and Beauchamp's done work for Marcia, I think, and Bill Haggerty, I know for sure. So, they're
Isn't
top
it
tier.
something these people do all of that for that one night vote to win? To be able to go in and say, I vote yes for this or no for that.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy.
It's crazy, but that's our American Republic, though. That's how it was set up to do. So I think it's fantastic.
Do you think people like Lincoln and them back in the old days, did they have strategists too?
I think so, because if you look back at political history, they were smearing you in the paper even back.
They were worse.
I do it.
They had to be a strategist somewhere, right?
I know, you're exactly right.
Maybe it wasn't said that, but maybe it was.
I think it's been around since the beginning of time, I do believe.
Who else is running for governor?
Those are the only two right now. Well, who was the other one that just declared there? He's a state representative. Monty Fritz, I believe, is running for governor now. So he's a state representative. I don't know how much.
Wonder if Trump will back one, or how does that work?
I don't know. Rose has been strong for President Trump. Marsha Blackburn's been very strong for him. So I don't know if he'll get in it or not, but they were both strong for him. So I don't know.
Fleischman would be a hard one to beat if he decided, but I guess that's not the right step, right?
I think Congressman Fleischman, he is so good in D.C. He navigates D.C. so well. Mm-hmm. I think he'll stay there. I mean, he is so well respected in Washington. Mm-hmm. Very well respected. Matter of fact, he got kicked around for Speaker when they couldn't decide. I don't know if you remember that or not, but Congressman Fleischman's name was thrown in there when they were jockeying.
I remember that.
Yeah, and heck, I'd gotten word that night he was going for it, and I was pulling for him like heck there, but he would have been a fantastic speaker in my opinion. But I think Congressman Fleischman will stay in Washington because he's just so good there. So good. He knows how to navigate the waters, and being that good of a, number one, an appropriator, he's on the Foreign Affairs Committee too, I think, or he used to be. I mean, he's done just an incredible job for us.
Who's that guy that helps him?
Garrett Fry.
Garrett Fry, yeah. He's a nice guy.
Garrett's a good one. Garrett is a good one. So, matter of fact, I was one of his recommendations. So, when they called, I said, you can't go better than Garrett Fry. So, great guy. Works his butt off for the congressman, too. Works his butt off.
So, that gets the, all those. What is, I should know all this stuff, but Who's the guy from Meigs County that has the animals out there on 58 Highway? Not 58 Highway.
Is he elected to something?
Yeah. Oh, what's his name?
Greg Vital.
Greg
You're
Vital,
talking
yeah.
about, you're not Meigs County, Georgetown.
Georgetown, yeah.
Yeah, he is a state representative, Greg Vital is a fantastic guy. I don't know if you
Yeah.
know him or not, but number one, he's been super successful in business. He owns, him and his business partner, Franklin Farrow, own all those morning points,
Yeah.
all over the place. As a matter of fact, I work with AFC Urgent Care, and we handle a lot of their workers' comp care if they have an injured employee there. So I know personally how many they've got, all over the place, because they match up a lot with where we've got clinics, and it's an impressive business that they built.
Which one's AFC? Is that who has that?
Okay, so that's Jack Fromm, Larry Kugler, John Kugler, and John Tacker.
Yeah, they got that. They've got the smartest guy in the world working for them.
David Farlett. So you're going to say,
Farlett.
hey, I'll back you up on that.
Man, he is.
We always say none of us like David until it becomes payday, because he's our CFO. And I'm just kidding. I love David. He's sharp as a tack. But he gets popular when it's payday now.
He is the man.
He is.
He is David Farlett.
He's a working machine too, and David's 100 miles an hour too. 100 miles an hour.
I went to I was doing a job in Chattanooga, and everybody was working. I thought, I'm going to sneak off and get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
It was an early Saturday morning, and I went way down in Hickson, ended up there, and I was pulling into Starbucks, and I about hit this guy.
Yeah.
I started to blow the horn, and he turned around. It was David. We had to wave at each other.
That's too funny. Well, a lot of people don't know this about David, but he also still plays some flag football. So we call him the Tom Brady of the office. The Tom Brady of the office. He is he's something else.
I go to lunch with him about 3 times a year.
Yeah, I love David.
Yeah.
He's a good one. He's been at it a long time too. I think he was Toby McKenzie's CFO back in the day, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was Toby's. He's the best, man.
He is.
He's the best.
He is, and I'll tell you what I love about David. I'll be every now and then I'm known to get going and shoot some late night or early morning emails. Heck, he's already at it. It doesn't matter. He's responding. I'm like, David, what are you doing up right now? I drank too much coffee while I'm up right now, but he's all over it.
But he is fast, boy.
He is.
He eats fast. He talks fast. Everything.
He does it all fast. He does it all.
He's from Cleveland, right?
No, he's from Hickson. I think. No, Saudi Daisy is where he's from.
Oh.
Yeah.
But he lived here a while.
I'm not sure on that. I think
so.
he lives in Chattanooga now. I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, I think he lives in Chattanooga now. So that's interesting. I didn't know he was with them.
I sure am. I'm happy they keep me around. So I head up our business development department, and so I work directly under Jack, which he's a great guy. Love him to death. Known him since I was in diapers. So it's a great place to work. Couldn't say enough about those guys. Learned a lot from them. That's why I wanted to go there.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the best businessmen there are.
They think big.
Big, very big.
They think in multiples.
They've been in a lot of different
Whereas
industries.
I'm thinking in ones, they're thinking in 12s.
Well, it keeps me on my toes, that's for sure. There's no downtime, but that's good, Dave. I'm trying to soak up all I can so I can, go out and do it one of these days.
You ought to pay them to work there.
I know, that's what I always say. I'm like, heck, it's worth more than a college degree. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. I would have skipped college. Now, if I hadn't been fortunate enough to play college baseball, I would have skipped college and went to work immediately for those guys if I would have had the chance.
Oh, yeah, if they'd let you.
If they let, and a lot of times I wish I would have done that, because I feel like about 4 years you'd be so much more ahead. But
all you learn in college pretty much is Excel.
that's exactly right. I didn't even learn Excel that good, what's funny, I'll tell you a funny story. So I was proficient in Excel, but I wasn't that good. But my job, it's not 100% of what I do, but it's a big part. I'm in reporting, I'm watching reports and stuff like that. Not facilitating those reports, but I'm watching them and I have to know how to operate them. And I can generate some reporting for us too that we have to pull. And Jack, I think Jack's probably mid-60s when I first started, and he was kicking my tail in Excel, and I'm fresh out of college. I thought I knew everything to know about it. And he's like, don't take offense to this, but you need to get the book Excel for Dummies, is what he said. He said, I'm not calling you a dummy, but you need to get that book. I learned Excel after he told me that, though. So I was on a mission after that.
I had to learn Excel pretty much myself, and I went to college. I went to Cleveland State one day, and I was taking the Excel class, and the instructor came around and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I was just sort of playing around here."
Yeah.
He said, "We're not going to get that far. You just well leave."
That's hilarious.
And I got up and left.
That's hilarious. I don't blame you on that. I don't blame you. I would have too. I tell you, I didn't. I paid attention in college, but you really don't nowadays. I hate to say it, but I went for a business degree, but you don't get what you pay for.
You learn what you want to learn.
That's true. That's true. That's really true, which I learned more, I think, playing baseball and having to maintain the schedule because you'd have such a rigorous, you would have practice starting at 2, 3 o'clock. Heck, so if you wanted to get an extra workout in or an extra BP session in there before practice, you were having to bust it. And I took early morning classes so I could get out there and, get a workout in before practice, go to practice. Then you'd eat dinner about 8, 9 o'clock, and then you go to weights after that. So it was a long day, but that does go a long way to prepare you for the workforce, I think, because you have to keep such a strict schedule there. Now, we had some guys that were a better player than I was, and they had academic aids, so they didn't work as hard in the classroom. But I knew they weren't going to give me an academic aid, so I had to do my own.
So if you're real good, they'll give you an academic aid?
They will. Oh, yeah.
That's the way life is.
If you're really good, they'll get you the help you need, that's for sure. So I played with a lot of good guys, but a lot of guys from the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, and tell you what, those guys will outwork you.
They can throw the ball.
Oh my
fast,
goodness, they can. And a lot of them, they'd be in the hitting facility at 1, 2 in the morning. You'll laugh at this, but there's a popular Puerto Rican rapper called Bad Bunny. I never knew who he was.
Oh yeah, he's going to be on the Super Bowl.
Okay, they all love Bad Bunny. So you'd go in there and it'd be 1 in the morning. You'd have 30 guys in there taking batting practice in the cages, having Bad Bunny blaring through the speakers in the middle of the night. So
well, if they saw what he wore, I don't think they'd have it playing.
yeah, see, does he dress crazy?
Oh yeah,
does he?
Yeah.
Well, I can't understand what he's saying. I don't speak Spanish, but what's funny is I had a expedition in college is what I drove. And none of those guys had cars typically because they'd fly in and fly out. And so, heck, it'd be me and, 7, 8 guys from Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic in a car. And they called me Shamblin that's how they pronounce it, Shamblin.
Oh, yeah.
And so they would say, or they call me Sham. They say, Sham, turn on Bad Bunny. And I'm like, we ain't listening to that. I don't even know what he's saying. But they'd always get the aux cord and play it. But we had a good time, though.
Aren't they going to? I think they might have decided that he wasn't going to do the Super Bowl now.
I'm not sure.
I think that may be the rumor.
I'm not sure.
Who knows? You hear all kinds of stuff on the internet.
Heck, I know I'm a younger guy, but I'm still on Hall & Oates. That's my favorite band. Do you know who those are?
Oh, yeah. I never
guys?
was a big fan of Hall & Oates, but I know who you're talking
Oh,
about.
I love them. Yeah. I love them.
They had that one song, Every Breath You Take. No.
They had a lot of hits.
You ever heard that remix by The Police and Hall & Oates?
No. What is
Every Breath You Take?
I've not heard it.
Oh, that remix is good.
It good?
They mashed the 2 songs together.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's better than either one of the songs by themselves.
I've been to 2 Hall & Oates concerts, and the last one, I guess, was probably 3 years ago, and now they've broken up again, though. They were on their comeback tour, I think, for the 3rd or 4th time, which you know what that is. That's when you need some money, you go on a comeback or a farewell tour is what they called it. So I got to see one of their last farewell tours, and they were older guys, but they still put on a heck of a show. It was awesome.
Which one had the song Jacob's Ladder?
I'm not sure.
That might have been Hall or Oates.
It probably was. Daryl Hall was the main one, I think, and Oates was kind of his back. They had some back and forth too, but Hall was the lead singer, I guess you could say.
Well, I love music, don't you?
I do too, but I'm a little old school in that department, though. A little old school. Old country and then the 80s, 90s rock is the best way to go.
I like about all of it.
Yeah.
Just about everything.
Yeah.
But what about the local elections? Let's talk about them. What seats? Well, I guess they're all up, aren't they?
All of them will be up except for.
Let's do the county.
Okay, so you've got your school board seats coming up. Several of those, and then you got.
I don't know nothing about school boards.
Yeah, you got your county commission seats coming up too.
County commission, let's do them.
So that'll be a big one. So you've got all of your districts coming up, which
every one of them.
Every one of them comes up. Every one of them.
So who's running for? Say Tommy Ledford's.
I don't think anybody. I think Tommy Ledford's back in there, and Tim Mason, his counterpart. I'd say Tim's back in, and I hadn't heard anything on those.
Boy, that Tommy is a personable guy.
He's a character, isn't he? I love Tommy Ledford.
You talking to him, you say, "Oh, that's how you won."
That's exactly right. I'll tell you this: Tommy Ledford never misses a GOP meeting ever. Never misses it. And he sits on the hospital board too, so he'll come in about 20 minutes late, and I run a quick meeting. So if the speaker's not that long-winded, we shut down and go. No use in sitting around there. So we move quick. But Tommy never misses one, and he sits on that hospital board too. So I appreciate him doing that.
Sure.
He's
What's next besides that?
So we can go down the whole thing.
Sure.
You know, you've got several of them up there. I'm trying to think if anybody has got opposition up there.
Tom Cry doesn't, right?
Tom Cry doesn't have it, you know, which heck, Tom Cry's a living legend in my mind. He'll
Mine
be there
too.
as long as he wants it. And I think Louis Alford's going to go again too. I hope he does. I think they're two good ones, but
Probably so. And if they weren't, we would have already heard about it.
I think so
probably.
too. I think so too, which I think Louis.
Being in the county.
They have, which I don't know. Louis hadn't announced anything, but Tom Cry has, and heck, he'll have it as long as he wants it. In my opinion, he's chairman now and does a great job, and you can tell he's former military with the way he runs those
Oh
meetings.
yeah, absolutely. And you can tell that the way he lives.
That's exactly right.
Who else is there?
Well, I don't know who's up that will have opposition. It's still a little early for that, and I think that
You think it's still early for
still
that?
a little early for the county commission. I've not heard people, I've not heard any buzz yet. I mean, there's a couple that, that are. It's going to be hit or miss if
Maybe
they
they
go for
won't
it.
come out. When do they pick up petitions?
They'll pick up, oh gosh, when do you have to pick up and have it turned back in? I believe it's first year you pick up and you have to have it turned in by February.
So you wouldn't know yet.
Wouldn't know yet if they picked up.
Oh,
I think
so
that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure
There
on
could
that.
be
but-
all kinds of upsets.
Yeah, that's true, which I think first of the year you'll hear everybody on the commission. Now, the countywide stuff, you already know who's coming out because it's a rigorous campaign. I mean, you got
So whoever's coming out, not the county commissions, but
they typically are out later.
Yeah.
Because that's a smaller seat and they can work that
Yeah.
district really hard. But
Yeah.
a lot of those guys up there, I hope they keep going for it because they do such a good job. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can't say enough about Tom and Louis and Tim Mason. I don't know if you know Tim Mason.
Don't know Tim.
You ought to have Tim on here. I tell you. When Steve Lawson, which I think he does a fantastic job
Mm-hmm.
for us, but when Steve Lawson retires, that's your next sheriff right there. Book that down. So Tim Mason will be your next one, I believe. So he's done a great job on the commission, and and he does a great job for Sheriff Lawson too. I think they got a great relationship, and I'll tell you.
if they do, he wouldn't run against him. Then.
Oh no! He's very complimentary of the sheriff. Very complimentary of the sheriff. But I think when Steve finally decides to retire, which he's not going to this time, he's running again. He just announced the other day.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we put it on the party page, and I'm thrilled that he is running again. And I'll roll with Steve every time he wants to go. He's a good guy.
Nobody will run against Steve.
No, he does a great job for us.
See, now who else is there?
Running for what now? You talking about the county seats?
Yeah, county seats. We know the county, the assessor's office, the registrar's office.
The Register of Deeds office race is packed right now. You've got Mark Hall in there, Missy Matthews, and Stacia Shahan. That's three in there. Excuse me. Right now,
How many will vote in that?
oh gosh,
15,000?
I'm hoping for higher numbers this time, but I'd say based off historic numbers, 15, 16, maybe 17,000.
So somebody's got to get 5,300 votes.
That's exactly right. So if you run a campaign pretty tough, you can get that. Especially take somebody who's got a lot of name recognition. That's not a hard hill to charge there.
No. Most people's got 2,000 Facebook followers. something like
I've
that.
got 5,000 friends
Yeah,
on it, and I don't know
yeah,
who half of them
yeah.
are, but I've reached my limit on there. But
Maybe they're robots.
maybe they are that, or maybe it's all the crazy stuff I say on there.
Yeah. What about, all right, then let's go to the, where you get your car tags.
You talking about Donna Simpson's position?
Yeah.
So Donna is not running for re-election,
Right.
and I think Johnny Mole's going unopposed on that. So he is out.
That's right.
He is out, and I'll tell you what. I love Johnny Mole, by the way. I think Johnny Mole would do a fantastic job for this, but we're giving him so much heck because that's so unheard of. Number one, to go unopposed, but number two, not as an incumbent going unopposed. So that's really unheard of. Most of the time, the open seat, you'll have 3 or 4 people in it.
Yeah, maybe 5 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, it can get really cluttered, but I think you'll go unopposed.
Okay, and then
Trustee.
Trustee.
Tim Akins is the only one out for that.
Is it Mylan Blake running for that?
I have heard back and forth. I don't know on it. He's not announced on that. But
So as far as we know, it's just Tim.
as far as we know, it's just Tim Akins. But Tim,
I hate to run against him.
oh, he's strong.
Yeah.
The first job that I ever had was working for Mike Smith, and I worked for him all throughout high school and college when I was on breaks and stuff like that. And so I sat right between Tim Akins and David Swallows up
Oh,
in front.
Lord.
I got an education, and probably not
Yeah.
the education you want to get. I'm just kidding. But we had a great time. But Tim
Yeah.
is sharp as he knows that office in and out. I've never seen somebody that's that sharp with how to navigate that system that they're on. I mean, everybody go to Tim when they had a problem with the software they were on, in which Tim kind of has that tech IT background. And Tim's, golly, I think he's working on his 3rd retirement right now. So
He would be good at whatever he did.
he is. He's one of the smartest individuals I've ever met. and that office runs so well. I mean, heck, you've got a lot of veterans in that office. You know, David Swallows does a great job. Vic, I think what's Vic's last name? I think it's Victor Gregory, but we all called him Vic. And then Connie Fulmer's in there, and Deborah Swafford, and there's a couple others in there. And Deborah Swafford's Mike Smith's sister, the trustee's sister. So she's married to the former Judge Swafford there. So and then Kim, I forget Kim's last name. They've got an office of veterans in there that just do a great job. And what I think, if he does go unopposed, what's going to be really impressive is Tim's in there right now, so it's going to be a clean exchange of power there, you know. So I think that Mike will be able to hand it off to him, and they'll be rolling on day one.
The person I'd hate to run against would be Tim Akins or Stanley Thompson.
Yep, and Stanley's not up this time. So you have to, I think it's by the Tennessee State Constitution, the assessors and the trustees have to run off cycle.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Because you could have a mess.
A big mess if you had them run at the same time. And so Stanley will run in 2 years again for assessor if he decides to run again.
Did you ever hear that story about the guy that, this is an old story. There was an old trustee years ago that they caught him embezzling. No, what was it? They caught him embezzling. No, let's see, what was that?
I hadn't heard it. It had to be a while back.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it's Bradley County's
Was
history.
it really?
Yeah. It might have been he was a sheriff.
I know what you're talking about. It was a trustee. It was the trustee. Like back in the early days.
It might have been million.
It was a lot of money. I don't think it was in the millions, but it was a lot of money.
I think it might have been his last name.
You know how I knew this is because, and I'm getting a cough drop out here so I don't start coughing on you. But we built, so this was when I was working there, we built the trustee wall of fame. And so we put all the former trustees up. Dan Gilley was in there at the time too. And so Dan is a historian of all Bradley County history. So Mike had Dan helping. And we came across that guy. And, you know, we're framing all these pictures and Dan was doing all the historic research on it. And it was cool. It was a cool project. And then we found that guy and they told me the story about he had embezzled a lot of money and then got out of town. I think he got out of town and didn't lose the money, I think. But maybe I'm wrong on that. But I don't think he was caught.
I may have the stories mixed up, but I think he ended up being involved in an armed robbery and ended up going to Florida and they found him and he got put in the electrical chair and he's buried up at Fort Hill.
I hadn't heard that part.
I believe that's him.
But that's a good story, though.
It's either him or it was it might have been a former sheriff.
So they gave him the chair for that?
Oh, yeah, the only person from Bradley County that's ever had the chair.
Really?
But I may have him confused with a sheriff.
Maybe, but I have heard the story about the trustee that embezzled the money and got out of town. But I think he got away. I think he got away. I think they swept that. I think that's two different stories. Which I told Dan because we couldn't find everybody's pictures, so there's just some that are blank. Like when you go back to the 1800s and stuff. And I said, just go and find pictures of old gunfighters. Nobody's gonna know who they look like anyway. You know who they are.
So did you have his picture?
Whose picture? I think we did have that guy's.
You need to put it up.
Oh yeah, it's up on the wall.
Still there.
Yeah. Oh no, every trustee's name that they can track back is on that wall. It's really cool. When you're in there, you ought to look at it. Yeah. Now, if the pictures aren't hung, perfectly in a straight line, they're level there, then it was David Swallows' fault. So me and him were on the picture hanging duty there. We weren't advanced enough to do the research. Yeah, Dan had to do that. It's above our pay grade. We were just grunt labor.
What about what other offices there?
So you've got that. You've got Gayla Miller's announced she's running again, but she's not going to have any.
No.
If Gayla gets opposition, she'll win 90 to 10, if not worse. If not worse.
Yeah.
I love. She is so popular. Matter of fact, typically she gets the most complimentary votes. So
she's supposed to be the nicest person in public office.
She is.
That's her claim to fame.
She is, and I believe that.
Yeah.
And she's going to tell you she loves you every time. And I respect Gayla. She works her rear end off, and she runs that off. That's a tough job too. She's navigating the whole court system and stuff like that. I mean, that's a tough job. And she does a fantastic job. And I hope she stays in there for 10 more terms. But I know she's running this time, but I don't know if we'll get her to do it one more. But I'm glad she's doing it this one for sure. So she's got. She got my total support. I'd support her for whatever she wanted to go for.
All right, so what else is there?
Let's think here. Mayor's race is coming up. County mayor.
the county mayor, and it's what, Gary and
Scotty Gilbert.
is Scotty running
Scotty's
for sure?
going to go. Scotty's going to go.
How you know he's going to go?
Well, he's made that announcement. He came to our GOP meeting and announced
he-
it.
so he's-
He did. He
so
did.
he's in.
He's in. That'll be a big race.
Well, you know, he beat Charlotte, right?
He did, and I'll tell you, I think Scotty, he's probably upped it now, but he gives away a lot of cookies and a lot of candy, you know. So that's a good way to get votes, isn't it? A good way to get votes when you're out there handing out free
Well,
cookies
if
and
you
candy.
beat Charlotte, I mean, you know, you've got some followings anyway.
you do.
Because she wouldn't have been easy to beat.
No. I love Charlotte too, but I'll tell you, Scotty and Gary, two great guys. I don't know how that'll shake out, but it'll be a race. That's for sure. Both successful guys. I mean, Gary's been a long time successful mayor, and Scotty's been in business, a successful commissioner and businessman. So it's going to be interesting how that shakes out.
And there could be somebody else before it's over, but
There
I doubt
could be.
it.
I doubt it. Typically, people understand that Scotty got out there first. So if
Yeah.
you're going to take an incumbent on, you got to get them one-on-one typically. So
You can't have, they'll split the
if somebody else gotten in, it'd
Yeah.
be almost a guarantee for the incumbent. Typically, is how that works, especially in the county-wides.
That's like the registers. 3 of them running against one person that's been there. That's a hard one.
Well, there's no incumbent in that race. No incumbent. So it's
But working there the whole time, aren't you sort of an incumbent by default?
I think
maybe?
so in some ways, but I think it goes off of name recognition a lot of times for those big races because you got to think what's going to draw the biggest crowd is the mayoral race, you know. And so I think once you look at those down ballot races, the bigger the name recognition, the bigger chance you've got to win, and also the amount of money you're going to spend. Which I don't know what everybody's spending, but I've heard some.
What does a down ballot mean?
So the races that are down below mayor, if that makes sense. So mayor in your county is going to be your top race, and then everything else down ballot. Typically, whoever's got.
So it's like a time when the sheriff's running. There's more people.
Oh my
vote.
gosh,
Who votes more when the sheriff's up or the mayor?
I believe it's sheriff. Matter of fact, I believe it's sheriff. So, and I'll tell you, back when Steve Lawson and Eric Watson ran against each other, I think they spent $100,000 each, right around that, for a county race. Isn't that crazy? $100,000.
I remember when Steve ran against Dan Gilly, and it got brutal there for a while, man.
Really?
Yeah, it was the biggest race I've ever seen.
Well, I'll tell
Man.
you, I hadn't heard everybody else's what they're going to put in, but one that golly, I was a little stunned when word gotten out, and he wouldn't care me sharing this, but Mark Hall, he's putting $100,000 of his personal money in that, and he's going to fundraise on top of that too. But I thought,
If I'd known he had 100,000, I'd been nicer to him.
yeah, that's right. That's right. No, it's funny, but he was saying that, and I thought he's not taking it lightly, is he? Putting 100,000 in. So that's right. I said, shoot, I need a loan here if I didn't know
Well,
he had
he's
100,000.
won before, right?
He's won. He was a state representative for a long
Yeah.
time, and he was one of those guys that worked his way up in Nashville too. He was one of the top representatives. He was like the assistant majority whip, so fifth, sixth in line. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but fifth or sixth in line to the speaker. So he was up at the top tier there.
Nobody run against Dan Howe, right?
No, I don't think so.
Nobody run against him.
I don't think so. Dan does a fantastic
Yeah.
job for us too.
You just couldn't win that one.
No, you couldn't win that
You
one with
couldn't
Dan.
win that
And, you know, Dan is one that if Speaker Sexton, so Cameron Sexton, the Speaker of the House, if he goes to another position, maybe statewide or goes to somebody's administration, I think Dan Howell is your next speaker potentially. I know he'd get thrown in the race for it for sure, but so well respected in Nashville. Matter of fact, I've heard he's one of the most respected in Nashville. And so,
Whatever he's doing in Nashville, whatever he's doing here, he's doing in Nashville.
and Dan is the best too at sending updates. You know, he has his legislative update because we put it on the party page. Anytime somebody wants to send us stuff to update, you know, the Republican Party, we want to get it out on our website and on our really our Facebook page is where the biggest following's at. But Dan is always sending stuff to update what he's doing in Nashville. So, and he's chairman of the TDOT committee too. So that's a big job.
I had a problem with TDOT, and I asked him about it. I think it was solved by noon.
I believe that.
I mean, it was crazy fast.
I believe that.
It was like 12 o'clock instead of, and I called him like 8. I think I saw him at breakfast one morning. It was like 8:30, and by 12.
It was fixed.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever have a pothole, no, I'm just messing with you. Call Tom Collins is what he would say if it's a county pothole, a county road. But he does a great job. And Kevin Raper announced he's going to run again. I don't think he'll have any opposition, so he does a good job. And golly, what else are we missing here? That Senate race, Senate 1 is Adam Lowe.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's somebody out of Ray County that's considering it that actually is getting in. It's a realtor out there. I'm not sure what her name is, so maybe some opposition there. Typically, you have somebody in those big, Senate races.
Sure.
There'll be somebody that gets in. But that's a $300,000 race right there. That's what they'll have to spend with that because it's so many counties.
And those. All right, let's see. That's pretty much the county, isn't it?
Yep.
How about the city?
Well, you'll have your city mayor's race coming up. You've got a lot of city council races. I'm not sure which ones are coming because they stagger theirs. It's not every one of them coming up.
Yeah.
A couple, and also city school. So the biggest one, as far as we're concerned, from the party is the city school board seat that Mark Gravel's going to run in. That one against
And
Jody
who's he
Riggins.
running against?
Jody Riggins. So
Jody Riggins.
she's the one that had beat Alan Jones the last time
Oh.
there. So yeah, we got to take
But that wasn't that like just in.
It was close.
Yeah, and it was in a small county. I mean,
Or a
it's
small-
small. It was like it wasn't like only 2,000 votes. or
Yeah, it
something
wasn't
like
a big vote
Yeah,
turnout.
yeah.
There's been a lot of people that have lost that are huge names off of the lack of voter turnout.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the main reasons I ran for chairman. You start seeing these people that would do fantastic lose it, and it's just lack of voter enthusiasm. So we got to drive that.
I think it has to do with the banner. People just don't get the banner. The
Yeah,
banner used to run ads, and this one got a full page, and this one got a quarter page, and this one got an ad in before the election. And this one ran it opposite the obituaries.
Yeah.
But nowadays, people don't get that. And you got to do it on social media.
You do.
So where else can you do it? If you do it on social media, if you look at your face, it wouldn't be YouTube.
No,
And
no,
Bradley,
they do a lot of direct mail. Obviously, and then also the Facebook ads. That's where, and some do Instagram. Nobody.
What would a Facebook ad do, though?
So that's a lot. That hits a lot of people, believe it or not. So they'll target this area if that makes sense.
But I think they just calculate that by your reach. It went past your eye, but
Yeah.
you didn't click on it, and they say,
That
"Oh,
can't
you
happen.
had to reach."
That can't happen.
But nobody clicked on it.
That can't happen. But you can actually, you ever heard of the term geofencing? They can geofence this area. So if it's countywide, they can, if they're a good market.
But still, somebody's got to push on.
That's correct. Now you can put money behind those ads,
But somebody's still got to say,
that's right.
"Let's see what they have to say."
And if you're like me, if you get junk mail, what are you going? Or if you get mail that's not a
Half
bill
of them are blocked.
or
They
not
just
a check,
think you're getting it.
I know. Then it's hard, and that's why I always say, whoever for a county race, whoever gets out, knocks on the most doors, goes to the most events,
You know how many views I had last week?
is probably a lot. How many did you have?
Take a guess.
20 million.
No.
No, I was shooting high.
No.
Shooting high. Let's see here, 100,000.
No, last week.
Last
seven
week, okay.
days. 7 days.
Okay, in 7 days, 10,000.
I think it was like 39,000.
39,000
Yeah.
in that amount of time. That's incredible.
7 days.
Who was on the show?
Well, I had one
Oh, I
guy
see.
that was like 32.
Yeah.
Usually the main episode, what happens is, so it comes out this will come out in 2 weeks.
Got it.
We stay 2 weeks. We started that during COVID because it'll shock you by the end. It'll come out on Sunday mornings at 9.
Yep.
And by Sunday night when I'm going to bed, it's got 150 views.
I guarantee it.
By the end of the week, it's 500, 600. Some people have 800, 900. By the end of the following week, it'll be 18,000.
I believe it.
By the end of the month, it'll be 20,200.
You're competing with Rogan now.
But you have them still watching old episodes.
Well, it's 'cause they're sharing.
And I calculate them. I count them. So when you figure all of that, this one picker guy last week, he had 32. No,
Was that
the
Dennis?
week? Dennis Beavers. Yeah.
Dennis Beavers,
The week
yeah.
before, but his was still going.
Yeah.
So with his going, and all the others, it was about 38,000 views.
Got it. That's incredible. Dennis, good guy. Good guy. Dennis was
Yeah.
big in the Trump administration for Tennessee, so I like Dennis a lot.
Yeah.
He's interesting, isn't he? He's done a lot of different things. He got a lot of money for farmers, back during COVID.
He called me last night. I can't remember what it was he was talking, but I could hear a banjo in the background.
There's no telling.
He was at some kind of a bluegrass thing, and I said, "Hey, I got to go here. I'm going inside to." I thought Gary Davis's thing, and he said, "I thought he was going to come down to it."
Yeah.
I mean, he's active.
He's active. He doesn't miss a party meeting either. So, matter of fact, I got to text him when they're happening, or he gets mad
Gets
about
mad.
it.
Yeah,
he wants to know.
he acted a little off.
What did he?
Yeah.
Did he? He didn't know that it was going on.
No.
He's probably saying.
He'll probably saying to you,
He's
because you're
probably,
GOP.
he's probably saying this chairman didn't text to me enough events. Is probably what he's saying.
I guarantee you he'll say.
He probably will, but maybe he'll give me a pass. I like old Dennis. I think he likes me too. So he's a good guy.
Yeah, he
Good
seems
guy.
like you.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
So, but yeah, I don't know where people. Of course, they can have WCLE, and
I think with Mix 104.1, people
they
hammer that.
carry it a lot. They'll let any candidate
They got to come on the
in.
people's podcasts. They got to come on
They
the
gotta
discussion.
come on.
That's got to be a no-brainer.
If you come on here, it's not like you're not going to be seen.
Yeah, you're right.
Now it's up to you to win.
Which,
but,
I don't know if you remember me talking to you about this. I hope you don't mind me saying it. If you do, we'll get it out. But talking about covering our debates, coming in and doing that. And
that'd be great.
Well, and what I would like to do is have you, we'll have a moderator come in which typically we get Richard Burnett to moderate. And so he's just so good at it. And anyway, having them do their post-game and pre-game interviews there with you on the discussion, I think that'd be awesome. Have you covering it, video. I think we'd get a huge turnout for that and a huge.
How many people would be here?
Oh gosh, we usually do it at Bradley's auditorium. I'd say a couple hundred people typically.
But I mean, how many would be here in the debate if we had some candidates here?
If we had it in the discussion in the room, are you talking like how many? You wouldn't have a live crowd in the.
No. But say you had two candidates. See, that's really not. That's really not my thing, though.
See, I think get you out to our live debates at Bradley and have you there and have you where you're covering it. But when they come off the stage, catch them for an interview, and while they're coming, I think that'd be awesome.
But see, mine is more just a discussion. It's not really an interview.
You get so many views.
If you was to try to say, I've had people say, you're not very good at interviewing, but that's not what I'm doing. We're just talking.
That's right.
We'd just well be over at Shawnee's or Old Fort talking.
I think you do a great job interviewing, or just having a conversation.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
It's like Joe Rogan's podcast. Is how it is.
Except I don't. Even talking this, we're not getting political. We're just talking about the process.
That's right. Talking about the process.
We're just the process and what it is. But let's see, who else is it that's running? There was something else I was going to mention. Oh, I know what I was going to mention. I went to Captain D's after church this morning, and I ran into, you're too young for this, but I ran into, is it Tony or Tim Ornby? You know which one?
Yeah, I know Tim.
The twins?
Yeah.
The one that worked at Capital Tire, but now he works down for
Tim
Freddie.
Ornby, good guy.
Tim Ornby,
really good guy.
Do you remember when he ran against Tom Rowland?
No, I don't.
Oh, man.
Was that a barn burner?
Oh, he just about won.
Did he really?
Well, I say he won. I say he did. He got. Well, you got to look at back in the day. This guy. Back then, Tom was as good as he's ever been.
Yeah.
Always been a great mayor, maybe the greatest. All that stuff. So you weren't going to beat him.
Yeah.
So. And this guy spent $1,000 on his campaign.
Didn't spend much money.
No, but he got I think it's about 23% of the votes, which
That's
was
impressive.
a lot.
That's impressive.
That's a lot for a guy that just, it wasn't like he was the professor at Lee College and he decided to run.
Yeah.
And it's just Tim Ornby.
Yeah, he's a good guy. A lot of people know him too.
That's his brother, Tommy. Do you know Tommy?
I don't know Tommy, but I know Tim.
Oh, Tommy's genius.
Well,
That's the brother that's not the twin.
Well, I tell you, Captain D's, you're talking about two before my time. One of my good friends is a mutual friend of yours, Carl Collins.
Carl Collins.
If Carl wants to go to lunch, Captain D's every time.
And it's at 12:15.
Oh, you don't want to put.
And he'll eat that. He's one of those guys that orders the rice.
Yeah. And Carl's going, Carl, I don't know what he's worth, but Carl's worth some serious money. And Carl has given away more money than anybody. I mean, he built that big building at Tennessee Wesleyan.
Yeah, that's right. Me and you are good friends. I'm good friends.
Yeah.
I forgot that you were such good friends.
And he was at one point, I think he still may be, the single largest donor, so not like a corporation, to the University of Tennessee Law. So he's donated a lot of money in his time.
Hey, I went up to his first meeting. He told him he wanted me to build it. And I forget what it was. I went to 2 or 3 meetings, but I kind of could tell that group kind of had their own star they was wanting to deal with.
Yeah.
Hey, I can
You
sense
figure that out.
And I didn't want to push it too much,
Which what's
which
funny.
I could have, because Carl was giving the money.
Oh, he would have.
Yeah.
What's funny about Carl is he's worth, no telling what he's worth, and he's giving so much away. But if you go, he's going to get the special. He's going to get the
Who's
special.
tighter, Gary Davis or Carl Collins?
That's a good question.
It's not a good
That's
question. Carl's way
I gotta give it. I
tighter.
was gonna say I gotta give it to Carl. But a lot of people don't know this too, and Carl will love this because I'm gonna have to send it to Carl and tell him to watch it. He's the one that brought in Paul Huff Parkway to Cleveland, and everybody called him crazy. And I said, Carl, the only thing that was crazy about it, you should have made it a 4-lane instead of a 2-lane there because
Yeah.
it is packed. But a lot of people pushed back on that, but Carl was the one that saw that vision. So he's
Now,
sharp as a tack.
when I say Gary's tight, I shouldn't have said tight. Carl's tight.
Carl,
Gary's conservative.
That's true.
There's a little bit of difference.
Which, you know-
Because Gary's dealing with your money.
That's true.
Carl's tight with his money.
Which Carl too was county executive back in the day, or he was county judge.
Oh, beat Nellum Jackson.
Which he was the same, did more job functions than what Gary had.
Let me tell you that. You're familiar with that story?
Huh.
Well, let me tell you.
This is a good, if it's got Carl in it, it's a good story.
So Nellum Jackson was an incumbent, like 12-year incumbent. He had one arm.
Okay.
So everybody was going to vote for the incumbent that nobody had a problem with that had disability.
Yeah.
So this guy, 21 years old, from Charleston, comes down was involved in Cleveland just a little bit, and he decided to run for, at that time it was what?
County judge.
County judge. And the Republican Party denounced him.
Yep. I've heard that part of the story.
I think they even back then had a little parade where they drove a car down the road and said, "We've denounced it." It was pretty big.
By the way,
pretty
Carl
serious.
hadn't forgotten at that time the party was against him too.
That's
so
right,
he
that's
hadn't
right.
forgot about that.
So Carl goes and meets Troy Dixon
Okay.
at what used to be Pruitt's, which you'll know as the Boot Barn.
Okay. I got you.
And Troy was working a second job putting up stock.
Yeah.
And he said, "I heard that you know that was your cheap street,
Yeah.
Beauchamp or
Yeah. That was
Ward Baker.
your-
That was Troy, but Troy didn't have any help, but he really enjoyed the science of
Yeah.
it. And Carl will attribute him winning to Troy Dixon.
That's
helping.
awesome. Yeah, he
'Cause
won.
what did he have going for him? It's not 21 years
No.
old. He had no money.
None.
They said his mother would pack his lunch was a biscuit from the morning.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it. Carl grew up very, very poor. Very poor.
Zane Harris told me he went to school with him and said that we can talk about Carl's. He's not going to be watching this. He wouldn't pay for internet.
Carl
at his house.
does have a Facebook, but I don't know if he ever gets on it. But I'll have to tell
I'd
him to
say
watch
it was some secretary put it on.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he don't even have a smartphone, does he?
No, he doesn't.
He was just a
Because,
flip phone.
matter of fact, what's funny about that, when he got his flip phone, he called me, and I had to go show him. I met him in his office.
How to use the flip
Hell yeah, how to use it. And I'll tell you what's funny. Now, this happened twice, but not to divert from the story. The first time, he had tried to call from the office phone, and I didn't have his office number, so I didn't pick up. And I got a voicemail from his receptionist that said, "Please call back." And so I'm like, "What's going on with Carl?" She's like, "Thank God you called. He's making this a miserable day for everybody. He can't work his sales." So I had to get over there and help him do it. But I helped him do it the second time, too. But yeah, he's got a flip phone still.
I wonder if I could get Carl to come on
He'd
here.
do it. He loves you.
I don't think he would.
I think he would. I think he would do it.
I don't know.
He'd be interesting to catch, which this is a funny one, too. Carl calls me. This is no joke. He still manages all of his. At one time, I think he had 980 apartment doors.
He had over 800 at one time.
Yeah, and developed, I think, 4 nursing homes, big nursing homes. So Carl calls me, it was lunch. He said, can you run over to the apartments really quick? He said, I got to do something. I need somebody else over here. And I'm like, sure, whatever you need. I thought he was going to get me to help him change a light bulb or something. So I ran over. There's probably a 10-foot hole that you got to go in to check the water meter. And Carl's opening this thing, and I'm like, you want me to go down in there? And I was like, we need a ladder. He's like, no, I'll do it like this, but I don't want to get stuck down here. He jumps down in this hole with no ladder and pulls himself back up at 83, 84 years old. Can you believe that? Check the meter. I'm like, Carl, let me do. I was freaking out. I was like, let me get down there. He's like, no, I do it. I just wanted to have somebody here if I needed to get help out of this thing. But he still every day gets after it. Every day.
You know, I had a problem one time. I won't go into detail, but I had to ride to Kingston with him.
Yeah.
And so we're riding to Kingston, and there was something really bothering me. I had a problem. And so I just sort of alluded to it a little bit, trying to get his, he never would bite on it.
Get his expertise.
Yeah, he would never bite on talking about it. 3 days later, the person that was giving me the trouble called and said, and solved the problem. And so I go down to their office, and she said, I think we've got a mutual friend. And I said, who? And she said, Carl Collins. It dawned on me, he had called her.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
And I didn't even think he's hearing me.
Yeah. Now, he's very articulated, and he speaks like an attorney. Everything, he speaks so eloquently.
Yeah.
And what's funny about Carl, we'll go to the Tennessee games, and Carl, he's skinny, and he's not very tall. He's shorter than I am, but he can put away those frozen Snicker bars. So what's funny, every time I go to the restroom or go out and get something, I'll bring him, and I'll tell you, I've seen him eat 4 or 5 of those things. But the last time we went, we got stuck in the parking garage, and we didn't get out of there till midnight. So we hadn't been to a night game since. Yeah. Carl didn't want to go out late, but
I've gone to the casinos with him.
Have you?
Yeah, over at Cherokee.
I've been known to do that a time or two. We've been known to take a crew.
I'd rather drive with him.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't. I'll tell you another funny one on Carl. So Carl, he doesn't use GPS. He did everything by memory. And so we went to one of his apartment complexes. He was going to show me one, and he wanted some help with something over one. And so he said, right over here with me. I said, sure. So we went, and it was dark. And he's like, I don't remember where we're at. And so I said, let me pull on my GPS. He said, you're what? And I pull it up. And so I said, all right, turn left here. And he said, the heck I am. You go right. So we turn right. And I'm like, Carl, I'm telling you. And so you remember Larry Wallace. He's since passed.
Oh, yeah.
So we were at lunch. It was me. Who was it? Me, Larry Eaton. I don't know. You've had Larry on the show, haven't you?
No.
Okay,
no,
you ought to get Larry. He's the mayor of Athens now. But it was me, Larry Eaton, Carl.
Oh, Larry Eaton. Yeah. I thought you meant Larry Wallace.
Well, it was Larry Wallace, but I was saying Larry Eaton. But Larry Eaton was there, Larry Wallace was there, Mark Hall, Carl, and that was it. So,
I never put,
And so we were all out to eat in Athens somewhere, and I said, Larry, because Carl really thought a lot of Larry, he was one of his best friends. I said, Larry, do you have a GPS? He said, yeah. I said, do you trust that thing? And he said, of course I do. And I said, will you tell Carl he can trust the GPS? And he said, you can trust it, Carl. And so anyway, I still give him heck about that. I
never put Carl and Larry Eaton together, so they were friends?
Well, he was really tight with Larry Wallace, and so Larry Wallace was like the godfather of McMinn County. Yeah. So, Larry, if he liked you, he'd just connect you with everybody, and so he's who actually connected me to Larry Eaton, and I think that's who connected Carl Collins, Larry. Larry Wallace, he was the big stick in McMinn County.
He was like Steve Lawson of Meigs County.
That's right.
In fact, he was the sheriff
of
at one
McMinn.
time.
And he was the main guy at the TBI and the main law enforcement committee. He had a big career, and he was still working. Alan Carter, I don't know if you know Carter Insurance, Athens Insurance Group. He's a big insurance broker. Alan Carter swings a huge stick in McMinn County. Alan had brought him on kind of to be really, he was like the enforcer in the office. He just wanted Larry around there, to my knowledge, just because how much he respected him. Larry, he was always going to give you great advice. So, because I remember I went to a meeting with Alan and a couple other guys, and Larry was in there, and I thought that was the coolest thing. But Alan brought him in to really, I think, for his wisdom. So everybody thought the world of that guy.
Yeah, I remember he died, 3 or 4 years ago?
About 3 years ago, I think.
Larry Wallace. I think he had a son or something, didn't he?
Not sure. I know he's got a daughter. I know his granddaughter. So
I think his son might have passed away or something.
Yeah, Larry, sharp as a tack, and still he was going strong even until the day he passed away.
I had that president of the school.
Of Wesleyan?
Yeah, Tyler
Forrest, right?
Forrest, yeah. And when he came, I had a raccoon in the ceiling.
Did you hear it up there?
We had to edit it like 10 times.
That's
it wouldn't
hilarious.
shut up. And I think he thought I was a nut.
That's hilarious. Well, what's funny, the former president, Dr. Knowles, him and Carl Collins were really tight.
Oh,
And
yeah. Harley, was it Harley?
Harley Knowles.
Harley Knowles,
We'd
yeah.
go over there to watch Tennessee Wesleyan baseball games. They had the president's box up there, and Harley'd come over and sit with Carl, and we would give Carl so much heck over having that flip phone. I mean, we'd hammer him over.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Knowles was probably mid-60s, so
Yeah.
I'm like, Carl, he's not much younger than you. He's got an iPhone. Why don't you get one? So he ain't going to do it, though.
How old is Carl now?
83, 84, I think.
Boy, it's interesting, isn't it? He's
It
had
is.
a good life.
It is, and I'll tell you, I talked Carl into coming. We had a GOP caucus. It wasn't the last one before last. I was going for vice chairman. Carl actually came. He actually came and did it. So, matter of fact, I think you saw him at that. You came out.
Oh, that's right.
And your dad had came out. You
That
remember?
was at Bradley Jr.? Was it
Yep,
Bradley Jr.?
it was Oakland Middle School.
Yeah.
Yep, because you came out, your dad had came
Yeah.
out, and Carl had came out
Yeah,
too.
I
So,
remember that now. Yep, I remember that well.
how is your dad doing?
He's doing good.
I need to call him. I think
Yeah.
the world of him. So
Yeah.
he's a good guy. Good guy.
Yeah, call him sometime.
I
Maybe
sure
next
will.
week.
He, I tell you what, he always interesting discussion for sure, no doubt. I remember he'd bought a ticket to our Republican Party dinner, and I took it out to when he lived in Bentley Park. We sat out there and probably talked an hour and a half, but he's a good one, no doubt.
Life is good, isn't it?
Hey, I tell you what it is. What's funny in my contact list, I've got Dee Burris 1, 2, and 3 in there. I've got all three generations in there. So
You ought to say best, better, and best.
that's exactly right. I tell you what, we always call Dee Robert D. Burris the Third. You know, I'm like
Yeah.
that's the fanciest name we've ever heard.
Yeah, right,
So,
right,
Hey,
right.
he's sharp as a tack,
Right.
isn't he? Sharp as a tack.
Oh, he's smart.
He is.
He's smart.
He is. He's one of the smartest people I've ever met. And I tell you, in our friend group, we play a lot. Used to during COVID, we played a lot of golf. He'll sit there and he'll just take it, and we harass each other,
Yeah.
something awful. He's quiet, but he'll come up with just a one-liner that just shuts everybody up. So
He's not much of a golfer, I wouldn't think.
he's pretty good.
Is
He's
he?
pretty good. Yeah, we would go out there and play, and he was good. You know, which that's not saying much coming
Cole's
from.
real coordinated.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, I remember. Heck, Dee played baseball for a while at Walker
Yeah.
Valley back in the
Yeah.
day too, because he didn't think he was going to play, and he had to go in. And he had his wallet and his keys and his cell phone in his back pocket, and had to run the bases. And didn't have time to take it
Crazy.
out. I know.
Crazy.
So I talked to him. What? 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, I got to talk to Dee.
Well, he went last night.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
texted me and
Yeah.
said he was going to go too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's a good one. He's a good one. You
I
got
sat with Judge Collins.
Clay Collins.
The other one,
Yeah. Yep, Clay's a good guy.
Yeah, George was here this morning. He said, why are you dressed up? I said, I went to that thing last night. I said, I sat with Judge Collins. He said, I didn't know Carl was getting out much. And I said, no, the other one.
That's right. Yeah, Clay is Clay Collins and Carl is Columns. A little bit different.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
A little bit different.
But when you're talking,
Yeah.
the other person, you say it Collins.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Which what's funny is Andrew Morgan. He's a judge too.
Yeah.
And Carl follows. Carl will call. He follows the races close. He's not as active as he once was. But
Right.
I get him talked into coming
Yeah.
to stuff. But Andrew Morgan from Charleston ran and won, and Carl was thrilled when that happened, just because he said, a country boy can survive is what
Yeah.
he said. So he said you always got to pull from the boy from Charleston is what he said. But
That's right.
yep.
Because he appreciates that because when he ran, I guess.
He does, and Carl has a couple scholarships at UTK Law that he funds. He funds a couple at Tennessee Wesleyan. There's no telling how many successful people he's put through school on his dime, just because he remembers it. A lot of people wouldn't remember that. They get a scholarship, they forget
I
about it.
wish he'd fund me about 50 grand.
Hey, you know what? If he'd give us a loan or two, maybe we wouldn't have to work so hard.
Let's see. What about the mayor's race? Is there anybody running? I've heard rumors.
Of the
last
city
night.
mayor's race.
Yeah, I heard
okay,
rumors.
there is rumors. You always
heard
hear
rumors.
There's talk that there may be some opposition there. So I don't know how it'll shake out, but there's a couple names flying that it could get interesting. There's some pretty big rumors, but the couple names I've heard, there's some big names,
That's what I heard.
some big names.
And I believe that's going to get heated up. I feel like.
It could get heated up. That's for sure. I think that there's going to be some that have to answer for that tax increase that was just passed in the city too.
Yeah.
We polled that, and it was something ridiculous. It was like 87% against it, and we had a big poll on it. I mean, a big poll. There was a big consulting firm that was polling a lot of races, and I knew the owner of the company called. He said, "Y'all want to throw in, and we'll give the party a great deal to poll that one question." So I said, "Of course." It was probably a $10,000 poll, and we only had to pay like $900 to hop on the
Yeah.
poll. And now you only get the answers to your question you put in, but he gave us a great deal. We polled it like 87% against it, and so we published it. We asked all of our city councilmen to go against it, and I think the only 3 were May, Goff, and Dan Moore were the only 3 that went against it. But I get there's reasons that the other ones have.
Somebody said that Goff ended up voting for it, but I don't know.
He did not in that first round.
Okay.
I think once it was passed, he did with whatever the next step was.
Oh.
I think him and Dan did after that. But
Oh.
the first round, until it was clear that they weren't going to be able to stop it. But I kid you not, we polled that, and so many people against that tax increase. So many. If you're a conservative Republican, and Gary Davis will like my answer on this, I could never be for a tax increase. Never could I ever be for a tax increase.
There's a reason why Gary Davis is still in office.
That's right. That's right. And I'll tell you this, from the party's perspective, is at least while I'm chairman, we will never, ever, ever support a tax increase for whatever reason.
Just work it out, man. Redo some expenses.
Too many people moving in here for revenue. I'll tell you what, you got to balance. Look at your budget and find out where you can cut. If you want to fund something, cut something else.
Cut something
That's
else
what you do.
out.
You
Do
can't.
something.
You can't go back and raise taxes. You can't go back and do that for your
Think
personal
about
house.
this. I was thinking about this the other day. Here we are just sitting, and we live in this town or some other town. What if 7 people voted to make it $1 million?
They could do it.
Can they do it?
I believe
if
so.
If they can do it, then, so that would be ridiculous.
I don't know what regulations. I'm sure there's some kind of state law that regulates that, but I don't know if there's a cap there.
You could get, how many people are on the city council?
What is there? There was 3 there.
9 or 7 or
7 or 8, right?
So,
7 or 8.
Well, so they could all decide to change the name of Cleveland?
Yeah, I guess they could. Well, they always say it for the commission. What is it? 9 votes will move the courthouse, is what they say. So it's crazy, but I'll tell you.
8 will make you late on your house payment.
That's true.
Because they escrow your taxes or something.
That's true.
I know it's silly, and I know everybody's going to say, well, you need parks, and you need this, and you need that.
But my opinion on that is the government shouldn't be getting into this. Where we're successful is by taking a conservative approach, and by doing that, the best way we can serve our taxpayers is by keeping more of their money in their pocket. Whether you own a business, whether you're an employee, whatever the case may be. If we can keep more money in our taxpayers' pockets from a local, state, federal level, we're going to win. But for some reason, our politicians hadn't figured that out yet.
Well, say you went to the movies with another couple, and the husband, the other friend was saying, you need to buy some popcorn and some Coke and some this. You'll enjoy this movie more. I don't like popcorn. I don't want popcorn.
See, what good way to put it.
Tough. You're going to have to buy it. You'll
good
quit going to movies with that guy.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Don't tell me what I'm going to like.
I'm with you 100%. 100%. And I think we're going to be more successful if we keep taxes lower in any level, state, federal, or local, because you're going to have more people entrepreneurial minded. They're going to go out. They're going to start businesses if there's tax advantages.
Yeah.
People put more money back in their pocket. They're spending more in your economy. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
We're not socialists.
No, we're not. We're not. And I don't want the government telling me anything to do. Really,
I don't
not
either,
a dang
man.
thing. Not a dang
I don't know
thing.
anything. I don't want to. We're all as close to libertarians as we can get. We just don't have a party to go to.
That's true. I am as Republican conservative as it gets, and I am as far right as you can get on the subject of taxes. I think that our founders are rolling in their grave. To look at the state of the country on all levels of how taxation's got out of hand. It's an insane concept. Think about it. They started a war over a tea tax. You know what I'm saying? And then now look, we tax every flipping thing.
Yeah.
And everybody from the state, local, federal level, just about everybody wants to get their fingers in the pie, which is crazy to me.
I'm for fire department, emergency services, health care, education, and roads.
I'm with you on that.
Past that,
I'm with you.
I'm just, let's somebody...
foreign defense coming from a federal level, we got to have a good, strong military.
And, when you start paying income tax, I had somebody the other day hollering about income tax, and I thought, well, it's cheaper than me fighting them, keeping them from coming over here.
That's
true.
true.
So you have to have
You got to have those. You got to have the essentials.
I think we need to have taxes for the needs, not
You're
the
right.
wants.
Do you know that under President Obama, and you're going to think this is crazy, they were doing Pakistani gender studies?
Nah,
Give me a
crazy.
break.
Yeah.
Give me a break. They were sending money to Pakistan for gender studies, which is completely against the predominant religion of the country. Okay, you tell me they're not doing, well, first of all, that's a crazy concept. Second of all, you know when they send that money to Pakistan, it's not going for whatever they're sending it there for. It's going
It's
straight.
probably not even going there anyway. It's probably 1% of it. But I think the government should be in charge of things that people need.
I agree with that.
And I think that competition should be in charge of things that we want.
I agree.
Things that would be nice and handy and all
agree.
that other stuff.
Yep.
Now that stuff can change. You know, if your roads are all good, then you don't have to worry about roads. Maybe, you know, maybe it ebbs and flows, but
Which one of the things we got to get figured out here, and I think Sheriff Lawson would agree with this, we've got to pay our first responders more. We've got to figure out a way to pay them. You know, we're lower than...
you mean policemen or first responders, or just the whole thing?
The whole shebang. We got to figure out how to pay them more. And I think if we looked into our budget, if we found other expenses we could cut, we could pay these guys more. But what's happening, we're becoming a training ground, and so we're losing money because they come in, they get their certifications, they get their training, they're in Collegedale or they're in Chattanooga or whatever the case may
I
be.
think they need to pay. I think they need to pay more and have less. If you pay more, you can have less people
Well, that's true.
because they'll, you know.
That's true. I don't know what you have to operate, but I do know this: Sheriff Lawson does the best that he can with what he's got. But for
You got to with Gary watching over.
well, I'll tell you, our county commission finance committee has got to get that figured out. They've got to get these guys more money. I mean, the bottom
What do
line.
they make?
I think the starting fire department right now, I think it's like $38,000 starting fire. I mean, you can't live on what they're starting these guys out on, and they're not going to stay.
Hey, by the time you pay taxes, you're living off $1,200. Oh, how much would you be living on?
I mean, it'd be what, $2,000 a month, roughly, maybe less than that. I mean, it wouldn't be much. Would not be much after you pay taxes. A little bit over $2,000 a month, I guess.
Well, they probably have to have family health insurance. When they say you got health insurance, they're saying we got a place you can get it, but you got to pay for it.
Yeah, they'll
so
supplement
you
it.
got to take that out of it too.
Well, and I think our fire department, our sheriff's office, I mean, heck, I know one thing, that if my house is on fire, if I'm getting robbed, I want them to be the best. I want them to be the best equipped.
Well, what about even just driving down the road, 25th Street, and going over to Mimosa Drive? You want a trained person to even be driving.
You do.
You could
You
run
do.
into my dog.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But they've got to get that figured out. So I hope that our county government is working on that, because I'll tell you, it's we can't keep training these people, and you know how expensive it is to train an employee. The worst thing that can happen, you hire somebody and then they leave you because you spend.
I've been stopped by a couple of them that needed to be working down here at Ace Hardware.
Now, what is it? You used to get stopped in Charleston or Calhoun. Which one was it?
Don't even get me started.
I know that's true. It's Calhoun, wasn't it?
I believe, though, that Calhoun, they wonder why places can't stay in business. You can't drive through there. People, if they go to Roswell, they go down to Lauderdale, go up the interstate, back down. They skip that point.
I'll tell you, if you know where it's Hiwassee Firearms used to be Benton Shooters.
Yeah.
They sit right there past that. That's the only place they're sitting at.
I'd like to buy that piece of property.
Would you?
Yeah, if you did.
Tell
Why do you think that one of the Hardys used to, and Carl would go into Hardys there at Calhoun
I think it's every morning. Yeah.
You couldn't get waited on. The place was so packed.
I know.
Why did that place go out of business?
Well, you think it was because of the traffic trap?
What do you think? What else is there?
I guess so. It was
Bad
packed.
food? No.
I guess it was.
The only place to eat.
Yeah,
the only
it
other
was.
place you got to eat is that gas station. They don't have a bathroom,
No, the Jiffy.
and they don't have a bathroom.
Yeah. I tell you where I go a lot. It's that number one, the Harry's Mart deli in Charleston, and also the Charleston Exxon right across the road. They've got great delis, both of them.
Yeah, but that Jiffy, now they've got good
Do they?
biscuits. Oh yeah, don't
Yeah.
shortchange them.
I need to try them out.
There's two ladies that work in there. They even put the jelly on for you.
Do they really?
Yeah. But they don't have bathrooms.
Yeah.
If I can't wash my hands, I'm not going to eat.
Yeah, no, I keep hand sanitizer in my car, but I prefer to
Well,
wash my hands.
I don't even like the hand sanitizer. You're just dead in the bacteria. You're not washing it
That's
out.
very true.
I want it off.
You want it off.
Bacteria won't hurt you.
That's true. That's true. No, I'm with you on that. I didn't know they didn't have a bathroom in there.
Yeah, they don't have bathroom. They don't have septic tanks. Not good or something.
Yeah.
They can't flush the commode.
Well, how do the employees use the restroom then? A tree out back, I guess?
They probably got one there, but it's maybe something.
Which you go into all the gas stations anyway, and they'll put a out of order sign. That's just because they don't want to clean their bathroom.
Yeah, and I quit going.
Yeah.
If I do that, I don't go.
I don't blame you.
I don't go.
I
That's
don't
why
blame you.
Buc-ee's has done so well.
The cleanest bathrooms you'll ever find are in Buc-ee's.
They advertise it.
Yep, the clean.
We got
I kid you
clean
not.
bathrooms.
You can go in there, use the restroom, and there's a guy waiting. As soon as you get out, go in and wipe the whole
Just
thing
like
down.
at these casinos in Las Vegas.
They do.
They got wait people in the bathrooms.
That makes sense.
What was I going to say before that? I'll tell you something I've noticed. Charleston doesn't do that anymore. They don't have the huge traffic study. They've got a city council there and a planning commission and David Lattimore. I'm telling you, they are great.
David Lattimore's a good guy. And
Oh Lord.
which the old police chief that was not recently, he just took over public works, Jody Musselwhite. I don't know if you know him or not.
Everybody, you will not find anybody up there that's hard to deal with and not trying to
Jody's
do the right
fantastic,
thing.
and then also now it's Johnny Stokes, fantastic. Charleston, one of
Oh,
the great,
Johnny Stokes, yeah, man.
great guy. One of the, I'm a Charleston guy. I really, and I love that little city. I do. I don't live in Charleston. I'm in the county, but Charleston's one of the greatest cities there is, and it's beautiful.
Well, I'm here to tell you, it's a great place to be now, and they're trying real hard, and they're doing a good job, and it's just got an energy about it.
A
that's
lot of
different.
history there. A lot of history, a lot of Civil War history.
Yeah.
You've got the Henniger House. You've got the other white plantation-style house across the pond that was very old.
Don't they have one of the houses that was not burned? They went through and burned all the houses
Okay.
but one.
No, I don't. But
Wasn't that the Henniger house?
No, I'm not sure on that, but I'll tell you, the Henniger House was there during the Civil War. It was used as a Confederate and Union hospital. The Presbyterian church down the road, that has the old, kind of, if you're a kid, it's scary. The scary cemetery
Yeah.
out front,
Yeah.
because what we would do,
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story. Matter of fact, we did this to your son, not to divert too much, but we used to, me and Chase Lawson, Steve's son, if we had a date, we'd say, let's go out to Charleston and see the old cemetery.
Yeah.
Well, that was code for we're going to scare the heck out of our dates.
Yeah.
So we had a system, and we did it to Dee one time because he had a date, and I said, Dee, come on. So anyway, what we'd do is we would go, and I'd say, all right, I'm going to take y'all up to the front, and then I would take off when everybody got to the front, and Chase would be around the back, and I'd hop in his 4Runner and just leave him in the
Yeah.
cemetery, So and I'd give him the whole story about how it was a Civil War hospital, and that's the truth though, and you can actually see on that building where the horses gnawed on the church windows. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
That, and then also you go down the road right there. It's the old Wilson farmhouse. You go down the road there, right there. Golly, I'm trying to think of what it's close to. Let's see, Willie's. Okay, you know where Willie's is at.
Yeah.
If you go past Willie's, you come from Charleston, hang a quick right on that road.
Yep.
That old white farmhouse. There's horses out there now, but that house, Sherman slept in that. Apparently 3 nights before he left town. So that camp was all around there. General Sherman, he's the one that burnt down burnt down the South.
Yeah.
And they say, I don't know if this is true, but they say he borrowed 3 quilts and he sent them back after the war. Who knows if that's true or not? But that's the legend.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy.
I mean, Charleston, this whole area was a very big.
Do you think that Chet Guthrie claims that train up there has a ghost train, that train will, you can see the lights coming down the track and it won't be
Really?
a train there, yeah.
It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock. There
Because
was
that's where the monk
yeah.
disappeared.
Yep, you're right. Well, there was a lot. I've always heard a lot about the Civil War ghosts that still roam Charleston.
Yeah.
The whole part of Charleston,
Yeah.
which I don't know. I've never seen one, but with that much activity going on, it wouldn't shock me if there wasn't.
And that's where they did Wild River,
Yeah, that's very true.
Paul that was in it.
Okay,
Paul
he was in the movie.
Paul Crenshaw was in the movie.
Okay, that's awesome.
And he works at Stacy's.
Really?
Yeah,
I did
he
not know
washes
that.
dishes.
I did not
and
know
we
that.
had the poster made for him. Alan Jones did it. I told him to.
Yeah.
And he had a picture of him and Bruce Dern. And we're going to have it redone because, David Lattimore's brother had the only African-American speaking role, I
No
believe.
way.
Yeah.
That is
and it was
awesome.
carrying a stick. He's supposed, yeah.
You ever eat Stacy's?
Oh, yeah.
I do
love
too.
it, man.
Carl-
When do you eat there?
I get the buffet. Carl
do
likes
too.
to eat there. Carl,
Oh, yeah, I've seen
Carl
Carl
goes for
there.
that catfish is what he goes
He
for.
Fridays there.
Yep, he likes matter of
I
fact,
go Tuesdays for meatloaf.
I would go with him and Larry Wallace. Larry Wallace would come over, and me and him and Carl would go. So, and Carl, he could put that fried catfish away.
I tell you what, I went there with Carl, and and after we got through eating, I thought, well, I know Carl's not going to buy mine, you know.
That's funny.
But he took $5 out of his billfold and said, "Here, use this towards our bill."
That's hilarious.
And it's $13.
He got you, didn't he?
Yeah, he said, use this $5 towards our bill.
That's why Carl's got all the money, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a funny story right there.
I had to leave that for the tip.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. He got you on that one, didn't he?
Boy, they've got good food, though, don't they?
They do. They do. And you know it's home cooked, too, there at
Oh,
Stacy's.
it's good. Good and salty. It's just
Oh,
good.
yeah. They cook it old school there.
I like it. Their greens are good, too.
Are they still in business? I hadn't been in a while.
yeah,
I-
man, it's packed.
Yeah.
Their greens are real
Well,
good.
it used to be W&W. You remember when it was that?
I remember
And they
when
had
it
all
was
the
a
dollar bills back
yeah,
there.
and it used to be a barbecue place. But this Stacy's is the best thing that's ever been there.
It's good. Do they do
It's
anything
good.
at nighttime there?
They close at 2.
Yeah. I wish they'd do something in the
They're
evenings.
rolling up on 1:30 if you're not finished eating.
Which I'll tell you, I like Willie's. I don't know if you've ever had that.
Oh, Willie's is
I'll
good,
burn
yeah.
Willie's up.
If you were driving down the road and you had to, where would you go, Stacy's or Willie's if it was noon?
I'd have to go Willie's, but it's close. I'd have to go Willie's.
If you were right in the middle,
I'd have to go Willie's. I'd have to do it. I
I'd
like
go
their
to
hamburger steak.
I'd go to Stacy's.
Yeah, it's close. It's close. They used to have. I hadn't tried the new Mexican restaurant, but they used to have a good one in there in
I've
Charleston.
eaten there, yeah. They went out. They had to go out.
They went out. There's a new one in there now.
Yeah, the one in Calhoun, it had to go out of business for reasons we know.
I was health score.
I mean,
wasn't
who's
it?
going to make? No, the police.
Oh, you're talking about, yeah, I got you. Yeah, the traffic
Yeah.
through there, yeah. Well, I know where they sit at, so I hit the brakes right there when I pass Bowater, I'm hitting the brakes.
You have to hit right when you go through the red light. At where that road, where the Lamont Road dead ends, you better stop, get out of the car, walk around your car, and get back in, or he'll say you rode through the traffic light.
So, yeah, you gotta stop for a few seconds just to prove your point, don't you?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It can't be good.
That's
I know what if you're from out of town and you're driving down 411 highway? What's the speed limit on that?
Oh, you'd think it was 55, but
It's at least, I think it's 55.
you would think it's 55, but
Yeah.
it goes to a quick 35.
It goes to a quick 35 like
The
that.
only reason I really remember it's 'cause
And it's right there. The sign's there and he's there. You're stuck.
okay, you know where the city of Calhoun's the sign's at, where it hits 35, right there. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's our property right there. So that where the sign is actually on, it's on city property, but our property's up through there. So the only thing we use it for is hunting. So, but I'm out there
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm mowing,
Yeah.
weed
Yeah.
eating ditches or putting out stuff for deer. So
Yeah.
I always know when I get to the farm, all right, it's time to hit the brakes coming from Athens. I got to go to Athens, a couple times a month, but. Isn't that crazy though? You gotta hit the brakes.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know if you're going down through there 60 miles an hour, you're over the speed limit.
Yeah.
But 37, I had got a ticket there one time going 36.
You're kidding. 36.
36.
30. I would ask if they had their gun recalibrated.
I had Jimmy Logan go with me.
Did you?
Yeah, they wouldn't let me off.
Still wouldn't let you off for it.
He applied for a different venue and it moved it to Athens.
You were ready to play. You were ready to
I wasn't
prove
gonna
your
pay
point,
it.
weren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, but we got it to Athens. He got it took care of.
You
You see him anymore?
I don't see much,
I don't
but
see
I
him
like him
either.
a lot. Though he's a good one. He's a
too.
good one. I don't see much. His two nieces, Caroline and Caitlin, I went to school with. They were in
Yeah.
Dee's
Yeah.
grade too. But what was funny is one was a big Republican, one was a big Democrat back in the day, and so they would argue with each other.
Yeah.
The twin sisters. But
Yeah.
I think they're both Republicans now. Though I think after Caroline got out, she joined the military, and I think she's as big of a Trumper now as anybody. So I'll tell you.
Oh, probably so.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is she out of the military now?
No, I think she's still in the Navy. What's funny about that is I saw her. She was on a NATO commercial that was on.
Is that right?
Yep, she was one of the soldiers in that. I thought that was awesome, and I
I
think
remember her. That was Jimmy Logan's niece. Yeah.
and Caroline, I think, is a pharmacist now. She's a pharmacist. That'd be a good job to have right there.
It
but
would.
I'm not that good with math though. You got to be good with math to do that.
I'd have to go to school too long.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Heck, I was glad to get my degree in business, and I debated the MBA, but after that, I thought, why press my luck?
Yeah, I believe we're doing what we want to do.
That's right. That's right.
Well, hey, I'm going to go home and eat supper. My wife says she's cooked vegetable beef soup
Well, tell Tamla that I'll be there too then.
and real butter.
And hey, she's one of the best. I used to see her sometimes when I'd come walking. She'd be at Walker Valley out there.
She likes you.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yep.
She's a good one. One of my favorites, no doubt about it.
She likes Dan Howe. I'm glad Dan Howe ain't my age.
That's funny. Hey, I'll tell you what, Dan, man, he's the smoothest there is, too, so you may be in
He's smooth,
trouble.
man.
You may be in
He's
trouble.
smooth.
And he can work a room. Mark Hall says he's like tree moss, is what he compares him to. He said that you look up and he's taking over the whole place, is what he says. But there's a lot of truth to that.
It's going to be interesting. Hey, come back after the elections. Let's talk about
We need to do
what
some
they
picks.
did.
We need to get
We
crew.
need to do some picks.
We need to-
I hate to do picks, and here's the reason why. Because somebody's working real hard and is going to lose, and I just don't want to have anybody mad at me because
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
That's
hard
true.
thing, man. People are putting blood, sweat, and tears in it, and I just want to respect everybody and not.
Which
do
I'll
that.
tell you, we're very blessed and fortunate in Bradley County. I think we've got great Republican candidates all over the board that are running that really, they put their heart and soul into this. And so I want to help them any way that we can from the party and do what we can for them. And if they get opposition from the left, then we'll throw the kitchen sink at it, and do what we can. So we've got one coming up, so we got to win that one. I think Alan Jones will be happy too if we won that race.
He will.
I think he'll be happy.
He
So
will.
you need to talk to him, tell him he needs to make a sizable donation to the party to help us fight that.
You think I'd have any influence over
I think you would. I think you would. So,
I know one thing. If I was in the foxhole, I'd want you with me.
well, hey, I appreciate that. Same to you. Same to you. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on.